tonight, I'm going to tell you, I think, in a little clearer detail of what Stacy and I found with Beth B and the fraud and what we're dealing with. I did talk to the attorney today. It's just hard to say what's going to happen, but we'll tell you as much as we can tonight. So that's going to be good. But we're going to be driving over to Beth B's house. Beth B, if you're just joining us, was one of our mad chatters, and she was my closest friend. She was family, and she passed away. It'll be a year ago, May 17th. And Stacy and I discovered some major fraud. It will be with cash and real estate over 7 figures. So it will be, well, it'll be 7 figures is what I mean. 7 figures, a little over $1 million is what it'll be. So and we'll, like I said, we'll tell you as much as we can. But on the way over, we can talk about the fraud and get the details. And the reason why I'm going to Beth B's house is somebody tried to break in, and we think we've got it all locked up. But I wanted to go over there at least a couple of times a week, so in case somebody's watching the house, they'll see somebody coming over, and so they'll be too nervous to break in is kind of my idea, I hope. So, but we've got alarms set on it and everything, and I just want to go over there while the sun's still out so we can get a good look at it. So I need to head out before that sun starts to set. Heading over now to my friend Beth B's house. I'm going to try not to yell this time. So, okay, Beth B went to the hospital on May 12th. All right, she's been quite ill. She refused to let me call the doctor. She refused to go to the doctor. She said if I called 911, she'd kick me out. She was just very cantankerous. But she finally agreed to go to the hospital on May 12th. On Friday, but before she left, she told me, she said, I need you to take care of my cell phone. Make sure you always keep track of my cell phone. And take care of the house and take care of Kyle the kidney. And because we were fully planning on her coming back, we didn't know what was wrong with her. We found out, but at the time we didn't know. So I told her I'd obviously take care of everything, not to worry, and tell me if I need to speak up, okay?
Okay.
You know, she told me to just basically make sure, keep, you know, hold the fort down, basically. And I promised her that she would always have her phone with her while she was in the hospital or wherever she was at. She'd always have a way to get in touch with me, and I'd make sure of that. And so, anyway, she went in on May 12th. On May 16th, we're going to call her Daphne. Daphne, her dear friend and her money manager, texted me and said, I need a note from the doctor saying that Beth B is incompetent. And at this time,
incapacitated, right?
Sorry, incapacitated. Did I say incompetent? Sorry, incapacitated. Thank you. She wasn't incompetent. She was incapacitated. And at this time, she had quit talking. She had quit talking the day before. She quit responding. She was just sleeping. She did have one eye open, her left eye, and then she would lift her left hand up to the ceiling, like she was reaching for somebody. And she kept doing that. And Friday, she couldn't even grunt when I said, you know, just make a noise if you're thirsty. And then I'd say, make a noise if you're not thirsty. And she would make a noise. And that lasted until Thursday. And then late Thursday night, she stopped it all. And then Friday, she was completely incapacitated. Well, Daphne wanted a letter from the doctor, and she texted me saying that Beth B's incapacitated. She said she had to take it to the bank so she could take care of her accounts and such. Now, keep in mind at this time, Beth B had told me that I was to trust Daphne. Daphne had all the paperwork, and I knew what was supposed to be done. I knew who was getting what. I didn't know the amounts or anything, but I knew what was left to people, and I knew everything, I thought. So I said, yes, I would get that for the doctor. Okay, Friday, May 16th, keep that in mind. That's a very important date. The next day, Beth B died. She died less than 24 hours after that. I knew something was up with Daphne. I just didn't know what. But remember, Beth B loved her and trusted her. They worked together. That's how they got to know each other. And she put all her faith in her to handle all of her accounts, all of her business accounts, her retirement accounts, and such. And she just told me, you know, trust Daphne. Daphne has everything. And I said, okay, I would, but I knew something was up. Daphne told me that Beth B had changed her mind and had left her everything. Had left Daphne everything. And I was in shock. I was in such shock. I didn't question it. I'm like, I don't know why she would change her mind, you know, and I can't go into a lot of details, but I had text messages and such that said otherwise. But she said she changed her mind and left me everything. And I'm like, but then she told me basically that the deal that Beth B and I had worked out, it would still continue. Well, Daphne had an estate sale in June, less than a month after Beth B had died. She had an estate sale, hired a company, sold everything, and kept all the money. Things happened. I can't go into detail, but I had Beth B's phone, and Beth B's phone had everything on it. Daphne had Beth B's 2 iPads, and she did all of her work on her phone and one of her iPads, and the other iPad was one she barely used, but she had both of them. And Daphne kept telling me, I have to have Beth B's phone. I need Beth B's phone. And by this time I knew something was up. And Stacy, jump in if I'm forgetting something, okay?
Okay.
And I told her no, that I had lost it, which was a lie. And she knew it was a lie, but she couldn't get it from me. And she kept trying. And now I know why. It's an iPhone. It was an old iPhone. Now, let me back up. The day after Beth B died, on May 18th, is when I got that text from Beth B that said, "Be me." Now, her phone was an older phone. You couldn't pre-schedule a text to send. And she hadn't been able to text anything for at least 10 days. I don't know how it happened, but I got a text on May 18th saying, from Beth B saying, "Be me." And there's another woo-woo that I can't go into now that's an even bigger woo-woo that is even more, just, there's no explanation for it. I talked to an Apple iPhone expert, and he just said there's no explanation for it, and I can't explain it, but it led to us discovering this fraud. Stacy and I, because Stacy has an iPhone, Stacy helped me get into, because I had all of Beth B's passwords. She had given me everything. I'd had it for years, but I never got into any of her accounts. I didn't need to. I would never do that. Well, we just wanted to look for something. We knew there was something that Beth B had supposedly signed the day before she died. We got an email saying that from a company saying that Beth B had signed a document on May 16th, the day before she died, same day that Daphne asked me for a letter from the doctor saying she was incapacitated. And I'm like, how could she sign something? Well, we found it. Thanks to Stacy's help, we found it on Beth B's iPhone. And it was a very explicit banking document that put Beth B's retirement fund, it moved it into a bank account with Daphne's name and I believe Beth B's name on it. And then what it did, it was a retirement account that Beth B got $5,000 a month from. Well, and then it also on this particular document increased the amount Beth B got every month to $10,000 a month. And the increase would start on May 24th. Again, Beth B died on May 16th. And she signed this document. And Daphne had somebody else sign it that said, I've known Beth B for 13 years. This is her signature. She did sign this document. Now, again, this document, but if I am reading the document correctly, it put this retirement fund of Beth B's into a joint bank account of Daphne's and Beth B's. And then it increased the monthly amount that Beth B would be getting, but why would she need it increased? She had passed away. I mean, Stacy, remember when we found it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We found exactly
We
what
couldn't
she
believe it.
did. Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, she had given a whole other story already about that and said it went somewhere else and all this. And then all of a sudden, we find this document.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had said that Beth B had changed her mind and left her everything. Well, then we find this document that Beth B supposedly signed when she was basically in a coma.
Yeah.
So to say I was shocked is an understatement. I didn't quite know what to do. I did hire a lawyer. Let's see. And that's where it stands now. I can't say any more than that. There will be a court date soon. Daphne has no idea what we have found. She doesn't watch this stuff. She doesn't understand it. And if she does, good. I hope she is. I hope she's watching it because I want her to be worried sick about what we found. And also, I keep getting these Apple notices saying, your Apple security code is da 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 da. Please don't give it to anybody else. Well, I know that's Daphne trying to get into Beth B's iPads with all of her other accounts on her iPads, and I keep getting them like in the middle of the night, and that's the only thing it can be. It's the only thing that makes sense is that she's trying to get into her accounts and she can't get into them because she doesn't have the passwords, and so she's trying to change the passwords, but the recovery phone is now my phone number, not Beth B's. It's mine now. I changed it. So I started getting these quite regularly about a little less than a month ago. So I knew something was up. And one night I got like 3 of them in the middle of the night. And then the next day is when that guy came to my door and started pounding on my door and ringing the doorbell. Pound, 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 ding dong, pound, pound, pound. And I'm watching him. And I didn't answer the door. But it was maybe about 6 or 7 hours after I'd gotten the last alert. And we were able to get a close-up of the badge he was wearing. And Stacy's son was able to tell that badge came from a department in Texas. So Texas says Texas on it. You can't see the name or anything. And it came from the Department of Texas that handles final estates. Gosh, I should have had that ready to go. What's it called? It's got insurance and final estates or final something. What is it, Stacy?
I'll grab it real quick. Life, accident, health, and HMO, final expenses.
Final expenses, that's it. That was the tag he's wearing. And I don't know what he wanted, but he was very aggressive. And Stacy called that department and she said, if that would have been one of our people, he would have left a message, or he would have left, a letter or a card. But he didn't do any of that. And he didn't come back. And he only came to my house. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I do think it was somebody that Daphne sent. I think, again, it's just a theory. I think Daphne was trying to get Beth B's phone. And I think the guy might have said something like, hey, we're investigating Beth B. She left you some money and we want to give it to you, but we need all her electronics. So can you please hand over your electronics? I don't know. I don't know. But he was carrying a laptop bag, but it looks heavy and it's bulky. He's got something in it. And Stacy, I don't know. Can you share that picture of him now?
Yeah.
I downloaded it. It should be in the media assets.
I was actually going over that document that you were talking about. That's what I was just doing. So I'll get that picture up. Here we go.
There's
the picture. Yeah.
Okay. Now I've got food out there for the porch kitties. Okay. And he's on his phone the whole time. But he used his phone hand to knock on it and to ring my doorbell. It was a boom, 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 ding dong, boom, boom, boom. Now, if you look at that bag, it looks like it's got something heavy in it. And I don't know what. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. There is a chance this has nothing to do with anything to do with Beth B. It really may not. I don't know. But there he is. Now you can't see it, but on his phone, he has a picture of somebody on the back of his phone. He's holding it with his fingertips. And when we looked at the phone, my first thought was, that's my son. And then we thought, no, it's probably me, probably a picture of me, and he's got it to make sure he has the right person. But I couldn't say for sure if it was me or not. So I sent the picture to my son, and I said, what do you think of this? That's all I said. And he goes, what's that dude doing with a picture of me from high school? I went, oh my God. Again, we could be wrong. I don't know why you'd have a picture of my son. I have no idea. But it's getting dark. I want to get out here and take a look around. So, hang on. So there you go. You can take it down now, Stace, okay?
Okay.
But I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd like to know what y'all think. I can't. We haven't told you everything because we can't. But just know that it is going to it is going to court. Go ahead.
There is one thing about the document that we said. So on the document, the money's to be distributed.
I can barely hear you. Can you speak up louder?
Yeah. So the only name on the account is Beth B's, not the other person.
Right. Nobody else's name is on it.
Right. Not even where it's supposed to go to. So it's like,
well,
you understand?
We think we were able to tell. It's got a partial account number. Do you see that on the document?
It's got the whole account number here.
Okay. Well, I think if I remember correctly, somehow my lawyer we were able to tell that was an account at a bank, and through other documents, we think it is a joint account. Again, not 100% sure on it either. You know?
Yeah.
So,
because I do remember that when we found this, we thought, whoa, that's really bad, because that's another issue altogether.
well, yeah. She's moving it to another whole bank account. So anyway, again, a lot of this is just kind of guessing on our part, but what we do know is that this document we found was not signed by Beth B. Not on the date, and it lists the date, as May 16th, 2025. She was not opening her eyes. She couldn't even grunt. And she died the next day. She didn't sign anything. She signed nothing. And then to have Daphne, you know, Daphne's name is on it somewhere signed, and then to have somebody else from her company sign it, attesting to the fact that that was Beth B's signature.
It's not even a signature. It's
Well,
some little bitty thing. It's not even a signature. It's ridiculous.
well, it's supposed to be her name.
Yeah,
Is the
it's
deal.
some ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it is. It is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I'm just in front of Beth B's house now, and good. Everything is still locked up. That's all good. It's all very good here. Hi, baby. Oh, I can hear a kitty. Hi, Mama. Hi, sweetie. I know. I know, honey. I don't have any food, but I think you live across the street. I think you have a house. Hi, baby. Yes, you used to come visit us, huh? I know.
Aw.
I know. I miss her too, honey. I miss her too. Be careful, okay? Yeah, that's. Oh, are you gonna come right? Are you gonna stand right in front of me? Okay. If I'd have thought, I'd have brought some kitty food over. Yes, it's good to see you. I'll bring some food over tomorrow, honey. Okay. Yeah, but so far everything's looking good. The neighbor mowed the lawn, which was really nice of him to do. She has a big, beautiful backyard. So, let me make sure this is not here. I will tell you. See here. Kind of. I can see in the backyard. It's kind of hard to see, but there we go. That's good. The lock is still there. That's all good. It's all looking good. Okay, very good. What room is that? Oh, that's the kitchen. Okay. We forgot that. I will tell you that, like I told you earlier, where I believe the money will end up is a Hollywood ending. And even though I was told that I was beneficiary, and I was told the things that Beth B told me she was leaving me, because of the paperwork that was supposed to be done by Daphne. And Daphne told Beth B it was all done, it was all handled, don't you worry about a thing. And she didn't do anything. And then she said that it didn't matter anyway because Beth B changed her mind and left her everything. Yeah. That didn't happen. What's ironic, what is so ironic, is Beth B told me what she was leaving Daphne, not the exact amount, but it was a lot. And Daphne, if Daphne would have done what she promised Beth B she was going to do, she would have a nice chunk right now, and
Yep.
she wouldn't be getting ready to be discovered for fraud. So let's see, this is her backyard. She had a new fence put up in 2023, I believe. And again, she put the smooth side out in the alley so nobody could climb over it. It's all looking good. It's all looking really good. All right. Now, isn't that exciting? Woohoo! Yeehaw! Fun stuff. Let's see. Are there any questions?
What about a will?
There was supposed to be a will. There is a will, an old one, very old one, that has been found, which is what we're working with now. So, and again, if it all works out, it will be a Hollywood ending. But we've got to get the authorities to take back that large account that was stolen from Beth B, in my opinion. That was stolen and put into somebody else's account while Beth B was incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't sign anything. She couldn't. And she didn't change her mind. I don't and it just breaks my heart because she loved Daphne and trusted her. And I found communications later on my phone that I'd forgotten about, and also on Beth B's phone between Beth B and Daphne, talking about the final arrangements and such and what was supposed to happen. But because I don't have the actual will, I just have, the conversation about how it was to be put together. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. My lawyer said the court will just go, you don't have the will. Sorry. Yeah, I know what she says here, and I know what she said there, and I know what uh, Daphne said, and I know all of that. But hey, there's no actual will, so tough. So, in that sense, I am out of luck, and I honestly I don't know what I'm going to do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So let's see. Any other questions?
Yeah, was Daphne's document notarized? No.
And I think that's why she had somebody else sign it to attest that that was Beth B's signature. And she told me she was going to take it to her friend at the bank that she'd known for 30 years. So I think there's a little friendship thing going on there. But that was why she needed the note from the doctor saying that Beth B was incapacitated. Now, Daphne did have her medical power of attorney, medical, nothing else, just the medical part, to make medical decisions, which she signed the day she went in the hospital. She gave it to Daphne, which was fine with me. I mean, they'd known each other for a long time. I trusted Daphne just like I trusted Beth B. I had no idea any of this was going to happen. So, but looking back on it, there were things that were said to me that I'm like, I can't believe I didn't just jump in and go, what the hell? You're trying to steal this. Because I couldn't believe it. Right, Stacey?
Oh, right. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And then to do an estate sale so quickly with no will, no anything, just sold almost everything she owned and then gave away her car, the car that I was supposed to have, gave it away to somebody in her church, which she didn't have a right to do. It's still, all of this is still in Beth B's name, all of everything. That's what's so crazy. I don't know how she thought she could get away with this, Let's see. Any other questions?
Well, she definitely set somebody else up with this document here. So she's on a roll.
I'm sorry, she what?
Just set somebody else up with this document too. She's on a roll. Because she
Yeah.
tried to cover herself.
Yeah, it'll be a year in this May. It'll be a year.
Yeah.
So
Oh no. I just didn't.
does
I just.
Daphne visit the house? I don't know. I think she does. She does not have a key. I know that. And I know she wants something. I think she wants something from the house. I'm not sure though. But she probably does drive by, but I don't know. So let's see what else here. No, nothing was notarized. Miss Caroline, I was when Beth B told me, you take care of the phone, make sure we always have the phone. And I said, I'll make sure you always have the phone. I said, don't worry, I'll make sure of that. And when she passed away, I had left the phone with her. I had just left the hospital for just a few hours to go home and take care of the animals and take a shower. I'd been there since like Thursday, I think. Yeah. And when I left is when she died. So I went back and I got the phone. And because I didn't want anyone else to get it. And I was doing what she said and just taking care of it. And the fact that Daphne kept bugging me for it, it's like, I need a phone. Mine's broken. I'm like, well, you can get a brand new phone. Why would you want this old one? Oh, I knew why.
This old one. Yeah.
She was worried about what we could find on it.
So somebody in chat says if she didn't have any key, how did she have an estate sale? Estate
Oh,
sale.
I take it back. She had a key back then. this was last year. I'm talking about right now. She doesn't have a key because the locks have been changed. But yeah, she had an estate. We had an estate sale, and I had a key. Actually, I think Daphne had a garage door opener, which leads into the house. So, you know, a couple of neighbors had the garage door opener, but Daphne changed the code on the garage door opener, so none of the garage door openers work anymore. So yeah, but back, like I said, it was about 3 weeks after she died, they did the estate sale, and I didn't know, I didn't know anything, you know, I didn't know what legally they needed, but I guess to have an estate sale, you have to have an estate declared, you know, and like I said, nothing was put in her name. There's nothing in her name. It's still all in Beth B's name, and it's just, oh, you guys, just crazy. Let's see. Yeah, nobody has power of attorney. Daphne had power of medical attorney to make medical decisions for her. But see, remember, Beth B thought everything was handled back in 2024. And I have a text message from her saying, you won't have to do anything. You know, Daphne has it all handled. You know, she'd say, I just don't want to go to the state of Texas or go to relatives I don't know. And Daphne was supposed to have everything all set. So.
Well, I'll interject here because I'll just say a little, but the day Trish mentioned the text messages that she found where Beth B gets Trisha's information and says, you know, I want you to be the beneficiary, so I need your information. Then she sends it to Daphne, Trisha's information, to give her the beneficiary info. On that same day, in a document account, you can see where a document was exchanged between Beth B and Daphne. So it went from Beth B to Daphne, and then Daphne deleted that document. So that
Yeah,
might have been the will.
it might have been the will that Beth B thought was done. And yes, why would she change her mind when she was dying? And again, we didn't know at the time. I mean, now, obviously, at this time, we knew she was dying. She had cancer; it spread all through her body. But there was no problem between us. We were, you know, she wouldn't have changed her mind. She wouldn't have. It's just ridiculous, you know. But the thing is, I didn't have. I would never have thought to go into any of her bank accounts, or even though I could have, I never would. And because Daphne was her money manager, she had access to all of that too. So let's see here. Does anyone have access to the inside of her house? Technically, no. Nobody has access to the inside of her house. So hang on here. Well, Candy Williams says, I really hope your lawyer has a good investigator on this. The thing is, an official that works for the state is supposedly investigating it. But we're not sure what's going on with it. We're waiting for a court date to happen. And that's what we're waiting on, is this court date. So let's see, I'm just going through here really quick. She could have, yeah, she didn't make any mark. There was no, first of all, I was with her the whole time. And Daphne did not come in with a document and have her sign anything. So this was all done online. It was all done online. But yeah, I was with her. I was with her the time she supposedly signed this document, and she was doing the death rattle, you know, the gurgling. So let's see. Oh, Breenie, I am very careful. I'm very careful. So yeah, nobody has power of attorney. And again, she thought that she had it all handled. She thought she had, you know, she trusted her friend of 30 years. She thought, well, I've got it all handled. She's going to take care of it. Tricia's the beneficiary, and she knows. You know, I'm not even sure exactly what that meant, beneficiary, but I do know she told me what certain people were getting, not amounts, Kyle the kidney was to always be taken care of, always. She gave a housekeeper, a good friend, one of her cars. She gave that to her while she was alive. I was there when she gave that to her. And so she has that, but it's still in Beth B's name. I don't know how we're going to get it out because that was all in the will. It's just crazy. Throw up too? What the hell?
I'm going to put up the young picture of Beth B.
Oh, yeah, do that, like debutante picture. They're at a luncheon, and it's like in Texas, back then anyway, it was very prim and proper, and you had like a debutante ball type thing. You'd have a coming out party, not coming out like today, but coming out as a young lady. And when she was an only child, and her parents had her basically to, because that's what you did in this kind of higher society, is you had a child, and if it was a girl, you would have a debutante luncheon or ball or whatever. And boy, this was not Beth B. She was into fixing cars and racing, and she left home at 16. She graduated from high school so she could get out of the house, and left home at 16 and went to college. She became a music teacher, and she was a music teacher, and she liked being a teacher, but she hated the fact she had to be a music teacher because her mother forced her to get a music, to take a teaching, to graduate in teaching, to get her degree in teaching, because she didn't want to do that because her mother was a teacher, and she didn't want to do that. And her mother wanted her to take over the garden club and take over the bridge club and all of the things that Beth B would never do, ever in a million years. But left home at 16, got her degree, and then worked for one of the major oil companies in Texas. I think she told me she was the first female manager in Texas in a major oil company. And she was a researcher. And she did a lot of research, and she always did research. Any other questions? Question. What is that? Are you concerned for your safety? And is that Luna Blue?
Let me look.
Luna, I'll tell you what happened. When we discovered this document, I knew the decision I had to make to say something. I knew that eventually Daphne was going to get in trouble. Now, that hasn't happened yet. But I also knew that I had to stop it. And like my attorney said, stopping somebody from getting $10,000 a month can make people really angry. And so he'd say, I have to say this, just be careful. And I was already thinking that. So all my windows have blackout curtains on them. Before, they were great big, I live in a little teeny tiny house, and they were great big windows, and they could see me broadcasting, from my backyard. Now all of my windows have blackout curtains. I do have cameras. I have alarms on my windows that don't have ADT on them. And they're just battery alarms. If somebody breaks a window, it'll sound an alarm that'll make you go through the roof. That day that guy came, well, it was I got the blackout curtains last year because my fear was that somebody would find out that we got this, and they know now because I think I told you this before, we sent a letter to her lawyer saying that we have documentation of fraud, so they know we have something. And I thought it would be really easy for somebody to come by and just shoot, So I got these blackout curtains. I wouldn't say I'm concerned for my safety. I'm taking precautions because I am pretty sure that it hasn't hit this person. The hellfire is going to rain down on them pretty soon. I don't think it's hit them yet. Stacy has the direct number to the police station that's by my house. that so she doesn't have to call 911 and they get rerouted and find out which 911 call center to go to. If something happens, she knows to call them immediately, and they can come to my house. And I did call the police that day. That guy came to my house and make a report. Safety.
Mm-hmm.
And I do. And the day that I discovered that document, I realized that people's lives will be changing, some for the better, some for a lot worse. And I do believe that there is a bit of a religious delusion going on. God will protect me, a little bit like Lori Daybell. That type of thinking, I believe, is what's going on in this case with her. And I don't know, should I say the first thing she said to me in the ER, Stacy?
What, I get everything?
Yeah.
I get everything.
Yeah, we are in the
That
ER.
B's not even deceased yet. She's alive.
We were in the emergency room. We hadn't even gotten a hospital bed yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
You're in the ER. Yeah. Yeah.
And she turns to me and says, I get everything, right? I get everything. And I didn't know what she meant. I didn't know. I literally, I was sitting there going, everything what? It was so far removed from my brain. And then it hit me and I said, well, yeah, kind of, but not, it's not the way I understand it. And so then I did talk to her later, and I did record all of our conversations. And that's when she told me that, no, she didn't tell me then that she had changed her mind. I can't remember when she did. But
that was later. Yeah. When you started to
Since
be a
days
problem. That was later when she realized you were a problem. She had to start making shit up. Sorry,
Right.
but yeah. It's upsetting. But okay, think about the mindset of somebody. Now, a lot of us have been to the ER with a loved one. Me recently with my husband, as you all know, when he had a heart attack. And the last thing I'm thinking of sitting there is, gee, what do I get if something happens? You're worried about them. You're hoping they're going to be okay. What the hell is this thinking of the money thing? What's that say about that person?
Exactly. And she was smiling.
Oh.
And you got to realize, Beth B had talked about this woman a lot to me and how much she loved her and how much she meant to her, and, great friend and all of that. And so I didn't want to believe it. And I was having trouble believing it, right, Stacey? I really was.
You were, yeah. Yep.
Because I didn't want to believe that Beth B could be tricked like this, because she was so smart. I went, you're right. You're right. Because I was on speaker going, I don't know, Stacey.
Yeah, you were on the fence going, but I don't know. I don't want to get her in trouble. And it's not about getting her in trouble. It's about stopping this from happening to anybody
else. Yeah.
What would Janet want?
Oh, if Janet was here, she would be furious. Absolutely furious.
I mean, Janet is a person that for years helped other women with money. And she supported them. There was a thing they used to do. Trish knows what it is exactly, but she was all for helping women and supporting them, and ones trying to get ahead and do well. And she would be absolutely devastated to think of a woman she helped and supported stealing from somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And she helped Daphne a lot too, which is another thing. Her money manager is like, what? And that's a whole other deal, because I had access to her emails and such. I'm reading these things, and she told me some of the things that she helped Daphne with. Well, she told me a lot of things actually, and I used to tell her, it's your money. You do what you want. If you want to help your friend, good. I think that's wonderful. And she'd say, well, I just want you to know. I just want you to know. I said, that's great. I think that's wonderful.
Well, and that's how she was. And she would help people that help themselves. And then there were a couple people that she just generously helped. I will say it. She put somebody through college.
Yes.
I mean,
Purdue
the
University.
full ride, this is how that woman was. Always helping everybody.
Yeah. Well, she did help a lot of people.
She
And some
did.
people really took advantage of her. And
Yeah.
that hurt her when that happened. It really did.
She helped Daphne out with some instances, which
Yes.
after doing some research, we found some instances where other people weren't so happy with Daphne's
Right.
financial advising. So, there were other cases. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe she hid the cancer from me for so long. So anyway, I called like the fire department and I said, listen, I have a friend. She has all her faculties. She's an older woman, but she really needs to go to the hospital and she refuses. I said, like, if I called 911, can you force her to go? And they said, no, um, unless she's a danger to herself or to others, or she's like unconscious.
Yeah.
And
Right. Yep.
yeah, and she told me, she said, you call 911, I'm telling them to get out of here. I'm not going anywhere. And she just, when I guess she had had breast cancer, 40 years ago. Like, she didn't have chemo or anything. She just had a lump removed and it was cancerous, but they got it all. Well, I guess when she knew it came back, she didn't tell anybody. And she just wanted to, I know her. She didn't want to be a bother. And she knew that if I knew, I would take her to the doctor, I'd stay with her, I would take care of her. And she just didn't want that. And, but she would do it for me in a heartbeat,
Yeah.
you know,
And she'd
in a
yell at you
heartbeat.
about it on the way.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Why in the hell
now,
didn't you tell me?
yeah,
Blah, blah. I mean, yeah, I can hear it.
you would
And,
be in trouble. You'd be
oh,
scolded. I can
absolutely.
hear her now. I can hear her now. I can. You'd be in so much trouble.
Oh my God, I can't even think about it. It scares me so much.
Yeah, I know.
She's
She'll
so
get you.
damn angry at me.
See, and that's the other thing about her. If she was going to change her beneficiary or anything, she would have told you. She wouldn't have had a
Oh,
problem telling anybody at all. She wasn't like that. She was blunt. She didn't care. She would just tell you the truth. It didn't matter to her.
yeah, she would have sat down. She would have sat me down and said, look, I've changed my mind because of blah, blah, blah. So you're just going to have to deal with it. And I would have
Yep.
said, okay, because I was never talking to her about it anyway. It wasn't like, well, am I the beneficiary? No, she was the one that always brought it up.
Hmm.
And I used to tell her, it's your money. You do what you want, you know? And, but yeah, she would have told me if there was a problem. Absolutely would have told me. But, I don't know. I just, what bothers me is how somebody could do that.
Hmm.
Somebody could, you know, claim that somebody signed this document less than 24 hours before they died, and knowing that at the same time she's asking me to get a note from the doctor saying she's incapacitated. Did she not think? Well, I guess she didn't. Why would she think that she'd get caught? You know, how would I know that she did that? I'd have no idea. But I found out because I found an email, and that's a whole other story that we'll tell you sometime, because that's the woo woo that cannot be explained by anybody or anything. So it was like there was some other force here in this universe helping me find this, because I never would have found it if this email hadn't shown up. So it's very, very strange. And I don't know. You guys, I just don't know. I'm just,
I found something I'm going to take a screenshot of for you to text to your lawyer because this has me puzzled. On
okay.
this document, I might have found something else well, it needs answered
Yeah.
because that's really bad if this is the case.
I don't think she listens. Like I said, I hope she does. I'd love her to know.
Well, I'll tell you something. And I've heard conversations and I know what she said to Trish and other people, Daphne. And this is what Daphne thinks. Daphne thinks in the beginning, Trish is an idiot and she will do whatever, believe whatever she said and not question it. She has no idea what Trish does
Right.
and what the people that surround her and what they do, whether it's people on Websleuths.com or whether it's somebody like Jim Rathman or, you know, whoever, or Cheryl McCollum, you know. She has no idea.
You're exactly right. Because who owns the house? Nobody at the moment. I don't even know if, like, the proper authorities have been notified that Beth B has died.
Right.
I think that might be part of the scam. Beth B had no next of kin. Her only next of kin would have been like second and third cousins, which, if she doesn't have a will, they can come in and claim her estate, which is what she was avoiding, really what she wanted to avoid, you know? So, no, she can't get into the garage because they did basically unplug it so the garage door opener doesn't work anymore. So, I'm careful about what I'm saying. I'm tired of being quiet about it. I'm tired of people living large off somebody else's money. And I'm tired of waiting for a court date. I'm tired of it. And I want it out there in case something does happen. I want it out there, you know. So the next steps, we are waiting for a court date to discuss the probate situation. Yes, Daphne does work in finance. I will not receive anything because there is nothing in writing that says I am the beneficiary. So,
Yeah, no matter what happens with
yeah,
this, yeah, it won't go to Trish. We're just doing this just so it doesn't happen to anybody else and whatever. So, and the proper person that should receive this gets it, you know.
exactly. And yeah, we want to make sure that nobody else has to go through this. And again, the the people that might receive this that it looks like it's going to go to is a Hollywood ending. You know,
Yes.
it really is. So, and I know that it's kind of hard to make sense of, but it will make sense when I can tell you everything. So, I'm just going through here, make sure I haven't missed anything, then I'll go in the house. So, no, Beth B had no children. So let's see here. Is there an executor of the will? Not yet. Kyle the kidney. Let's talk about Kyle the kidney. Kyle the kidney was one of the reasons I came out here. It was also to help Beth B and to help the human get the kidney, Kyle the kidney. Again, another reason why this is bogus, because I can guarantee you with all my heart and soul, Beth B would never forget Kyle the kidney, ever. Now, he is being taken care of temporarily by Daphne, but I don't know how long that's going to last. So we'll see. And
Yeah,
again,
that's because certain people threw a fit about
yeah,
that because she said, um, you asked her about, well, what about so and so and Kyle? And she's like, oh no, she said nothing about them.
yeah, she said they said nothing about you or about, the human, Kyle the kidney, nothing. It just all goes to me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that's just bogus. Because I know, first of all, I know she would never not do that to me, but I guarantee you, she would never do that to Kyle the kidney, ever. So temporarily, Kyle the kidney is being helped by Daphne because she has all the money.
Hmm.
So it's getting scary. It's getting intense because I don't know what's going to happen. Um, I'm going to take some action. Uh, I'm going to show some people that document that we found.
Yep.
Some people that are trying to handle the situation so they can understand who they're dealing with. But again, it's just hard to say what's going to happen. I take Beth B's phone
Oh,
with
so
me everywhere I
Webby?
go. I take Beth B's phone with me wherever I go. I have it in one of those bags that can't and no signals can get through. It's not so important now, but it was before when I was the only one that had that document. So
It's called a Faraday bag. We have a a really good PI, a couple of them actually. Um, right now, we're doing some things. We've been doing stuff on our own with the help with with the help of a lawyer, and we got it pretty much situated so far. No, we don't think she has any idea about this at all. She's never quite understood what she did. And if she does, there isn't anything that hasn't come out between the lawyers already in regards to the documents and stuff. I'm sure many people underestimate Tricia. I hope she doesn't see it coming. Yeah, a lot of people do. And like I said, they don't realize all the people around her that will help and what they do, the stuff they can find. And it's it's like, wow. And I said, well, right now we have a plan, but you never know, you know.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Beth B in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to my attorney today. I'm going to I'm putting together a little portfolio to give to some people in charge, some people in the government to take a look at, to make sure that they are aware of what has happened. And again, it will all end up in court. And once that happens, I'll be able to tell you a lot more. But just by being here and supporting us like this is so helpful. Today was a bad day. When did porch guys show up on your porch? About 3 weeks ago. It was about 3 weeks ago. Again, that was the most scary thing that has happened. And we can't say for sure that it's connected. To me, it just is the only logical explanation that I had kept getting these, here's your Apple recovery code. Don't give it to anybody else. And so I know she's trying to get into Janet's accounts.
Yeah.
And she can't get the recovery code because it doesn't go to her phone anymore. It goes to my phone. So, yeah.
Correct. And speaking of that, because I was waiting a bit to do this to see what happened with the lawyer. Okay, on my Facebook, I'm going to be posting a close-up picture of the laminate. There's something embroidered on this gentleman's shirt. And there's also a picture. If anybody can enhance images, I mean, you asked how you could help. If anybody knows how to enhance them, clear them up a little bit, go ahead, try your best. I'm really curious about the embroidery on the left shoulder, if it has a company name or something like that.
And that's what it looks like. And someone I know said that it looked like an Adult Protective Services shirt, that they looked just like that with something embroidered right there. And again, who knows? It's just so hard to say. But he was very, very aggressive. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I went through a lot of the agencies, and a lot of them polo shirts are uniform shirts, and for a lot of different places, just like here, they are for a lot of restaurants here. But I went through in Texas for different agencies, and a lot of them wear polo shirts. So and she was 100% correct on that. They do wear polo shirts.
Yeah. So we'll see. It could have just been a random guy, and for some reason just showed up on my doorstep. I don't know. But then to have that picture, and when I first saw that picture, and the picture is blurry, you can't see a face, but you can see the outline. And if you knew my son and how he looked in high school, that's him in high school smiling, and that was my first thought when I saw it. And then when I sent it to him, that was the first thing he said. So again, we could absolutely be wrong, but I don't know, you guys. It was a bad day today. I talked to my lawyer. Things are not happening. My biggest fear is that she will get away with taking all of this money that was not meant for her, and the real estate, and the house. And I don't know how she can give away. She gave away a car.
Oh. That's the other thing. The other person was it was her car, and she's supposed to get the car, and then Daphne's trying to take it from her.
Yeah.
Sorry, it makes me so mad. Sorry.
Let me tell you one thing that happened here.
Ugh.
And this is just how this shows how Daphne is. Janet was a big car person. I used to tease her and call her house Janet's used car lot, because she'd have like 3 or 4 cars there that were all in working order, and she'd lend them to friends and things. Well, the one person, this friend of ours, I'm going to call her, let's call her Bailey.
I love that name.
Bailey, yes. She gave Bailey a good car, a very good car. And I was there when she gave it to her. But she also gave Bailey a very old car, because Bailey likes to work on cars like Janet did. Now, she was able to get Bailey's name on the old car, on the registration. She hadn't done it yet for the newer car. So that's still in her name. But I was there when she gave it to her. And so the older car is in Bailey's name. And Bailey is at Beth B's house doing some work, cleaning up and such, after Beth B had died. And this was before everything got really ugly. And Daphne shows up in Janet's car that she had given to somebody in her church. But she didn't have the right to do. She didn't have the right to do it. She told me, she says, "Oh, we're going to get you a new car, honey. We're going to trade in the car that you have. I know you're supposed to get Beth B's car, but we're going to trade that in and then get you a better car, one that's newer, because there's somebody in my church that needs that car." That's what she said she was going to do. Now, this was when I thought, it was all supposed to go to her. I didn't know what was going on. And that's what she told me she was going to do. But she just gave Beth B's car away to somebody else. So anyway, she shows up with Beth B's car, because it's a big SUV. And she tells Bailey, Bailey, I need to get the key to that car, because somebody in my church needs it. And Bailey said, "No, that's my car." And she says, no, it was part of the estate. So, and I'm paraphrasing. "So I get it. It needs to go to somebody in the church." And Bailey's like, "No, my name is on the registration." And Daphne's like, "Well, no, it's not. I have the registration and your name's not on it." Bailey's like, "Yes, it is." And she didn't have the registration with the car. She had it at home. Anyway, she was able to show it to her, but she was going to take it. She was going to take it. So we were worried that that Daphne would call a tow truck and tow it away. So I had Bailey move it over to my house, so I could keep an eye on it. It's, again, the greed is unbelievable. I'm going to leave you with one final story. And this happened the day, gosh, and maybe I've already told you this, guys. I'm sorry if I've repeated myself. But Beth B hired this man. He's a wonderful man, a fireman, but he had to have a second job. And Beth B paid him $160 a month to mow her yard, $80 each time, came over twice a month. And it was time to pay him. And I would go to the bank to get the cash for her so she could pay him. Well, we had just called 911 and they were coming to get her. And I knew she would need her wallet and her ID with her insurance card and all the things that you need when you go to the hospital. So I got her purse and made sure that she had her ID, made sure she had all that she needed. And she had the 160 in her wallet for the gardener. Now, keep in mind, the gardener has been friends with her for years. And this was his food money. So I took it out. Now, as I'm taking out the money, because I didn't want to take it to the hospital, didn't want to get it stolen, I was starting to say, I'm going to leave this in her nightstand so I can pay the gardener when he comes by. And I pull it out and I start to talk, and I'm sitting there holding the money. It's all 20s. And she, like this is the money. She comes along, she goes, just snatches it out of my hand, just like that. And I went, she goes, I can't even remember what she said. And I didn't say anything. I was so stunned. It just snatched it. I was just holding it up, starting to say, because I was looking at her, I was starting to say, oh, this is the gardener's money. I'm going to leave it in the nightstand so I can pay him when he comes by again. She just snatched it, just like it was like she was a starving child.
Mm-hmm.
Look, back then, I'm sure I thought, what the hell? But again, I was too worried about my friend to even care. You know, looking at it now, I'm so mad at myself that I didn't just jump in and go, what the hell are you doing? You know?
Yeah, and then guess who ended up paying the gardener out of their own pocket?
Yeah.
Because
That's okay.
that's the kind of person she is. She wanted to make sure he got his money, so Tricia paid him.
I paid him. Yeah, I did. So that's okay. That's okay. I will, karma has yet to fail me. I sometimes think I'm not going to see it, but it is yet to fail me. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We had a memorial service because Daphne was supposed to she has Janet's ashes, and she was supposed to do a memorial service. She never set one up, never did anything. So we did. I did. We had one in October for her at her favorite little dive restaurant. It was really fun. And I'm sure somehow she found out. I hope she did. But she's still talking to somebody about this memorial that she's going to do for Beth B. And yeah, she's not going to do any memorial. She was supposed to give me some of her ashes. I've got a little urn. In fact, I have it right up here. Just like a little 2-inch urn. That's all I wanted. No, can't get them. Just horrible human. Just horrible. Absolutely horrible. So, but hey, she'll tell you how much she believes in God and how much God loves her and how God helps her. Can I tell one more story? Because this one's pretty funny.
Yeah, but I just want to tell everybody, warn you, this person, I'm positive she flaunts it. It's like a neon sign. I'm a good Christian. And for me, I feel that is just her persona, her mask she puts on because she thinks nobody will suspect her of doing anything wrong.
You are exactly right. If she can convince everybody she's a good Christian, then nobody would think she would ever do anything bad. Yeah. And I think she has convinced herself that she's done nothing wrong. I really do.
Yeah.
I think she's convinced herself that this is what Janet wanted, that she didn't, again, Janet would never, ever do that to me, but I can absolutely guarantee you with your life and my life that Janet would never forget about Kyle the kidney, the human that has Kyle the kidney. Yep. Never. Yeah. So anyway, this is during the estate sale. And Janet had one of those chairs that it lifts you up and then it like dumps you out. Oh, she Wolf, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you very, very much. Gosh, we had, that is so nice. Let's see, how much do we have here? Let me put this down. That is a lot. Thank you. $19.99. What a doll. Thank you so much. I'm going to let DNA Solves know how much money they have coming to them from tonight. So.
And just to say, my grandmother had one of those chairs when I was young because my mom took care of her. She had Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. And you push the button and it would come all the way up until you're in a standing position.
Right.
I played with that thing constantly.
Oh, yeah. I can see why they would be fun. I really can.
I played with it, yeah.
So anyway, somebody came by and they wanted to buy it. And for some reason, the cord was missing. Now, the cord had been there earlier in the day, but they went to plug it in. The cord was missing. All of a sudden I hear, please God, please. And she comes out, she's got her hands up. Please God in heaven, listen to me, please. Find this cord, Lord. Find this cord so we can sell this chair. And then the guy that's running the estate sale starts trying to out-God her. Yes, Lord, please, Jesus, help us find this cord. I'm like, they're out trying to out-God each other, yelling about prayers and finding the cord. Well, somebody found it. It was in a box that was close by that had a bunch of other cords in it. Somebody had probably just plugged it in, then unplugged it and threw it in the box. And she's like, hallelujah. Oh, this is the quickest God has ever answered my prayers. Hallelujah, God. Hallelujah. And I'm like, I can't take this. And I said, I'm so sorry. I have to go home. I've got work has called me. She doesn't even know what I do. I said, work's called me. I couldn't, they were out-godding each other. Oh, jeez.
You should have said, I had lost an earring last week. I'm going to go home and pray real quick.
Yeah, I had to go throw my arms up in the air and say, dear God, God in heaven, Jesus, help me find it. Help me. They were both yelling at God and God this and God that. And I'm like, I am in an insane asylum,
All she had to do was go look in a box.
Yeah, it was just right there. It was right there. So thank you all for coming along with me on the road trip. Don't know when I'll do it again. I don't think I'll be doing another one soon. I will be going out to Beth B's house, but it'll probably be during the day or late after one of my live streams. So we'll wait and see. But if I go again and it's going to be around the time that we do this, I'll take you with me if you're interested. And if anything happens, we'll definitely let you know. We'll keep you posted.